Hello everyone and welcome again to our new lesson about hazards about DRRR. So I am here again, Sir Jay, and I will be your teacher. So let me share my screen first. And so our topic for today will be geological hazards. So this will be our first topic for fourth quarter, and this will be our lesson 6. So let's start in geological hazard. So what will be our objective? At the end of this lesson or at the end of this video, the students will be able to understand the causes of landslide and sinkhole, explain the different types of landslide and sinkhole, recognize signs of impending geological hazards, and appreciate the importance of knowing the causes of geological hazards. So first, let's do some icebreaker. So our icebreaker will be awesome word. So here I will flash some letters, and by the use of that letters, you will tell me a hazard or something dangerous using this letter. So if I flash the letter F, then you will say some hazards like fire. So fire can cause damage or can cause injury, and that's it. So our first letter is G. So what are the possible hazards that starts with the letter G? Okay, so gas, mga gaseous chemicals. So yan yung letter G natin. So kayo mag-isip kung anong naiisip nyo. So letter E. Okay, so explosion, electric wires, eruption. So madami tayong hazard sa letter E. Letter O. Yan. Online class daw, sabi. So ano kaya yung mga letter O na hazards? So letter L. Example natin dyan is lightning, light, landslide. Letter C is chemical substances. Letter A, avalanche, ashfall. T is transportation, petrofall. So madami yan sa letter C. Letter S is sinkhole and slip. So yan yung ating mga sa letter S. So that is the end of our awesome words. So geological hazard is an extreme natural event in the crust of the earth that poses a threat to life and property around the world. So ito yung mga natural na nangyayari doon sa ground natin, sa lupa. So in general, most of geological hazards are related to natural conditions, although some may be due to human activities. So can you tell me, what do you know about geological hazards? Or can you give me an example of geological hazards? Okay. So take a look at this picture. This is before and after illustration of the debris avalanche of Mount Pinatubo located in the 3-point boundary of Philippine province of Zambales, Tarlac, Pampanga, and all in central Luzon on the northern part of Luzon. Based from the illustration, answer the following question. So as you can see here, yan, pinatubo. So ganyan yung kanyang tsura, and then naging ganyan, naging ganyan. So ano ba? So this part is naging caldera na, caldera. If you still remember. So our question number 1, what happened to the appearance of the crater after a volcanic eruption? So ano nangyari? From here to here to here. So ano nangyari doon sa ating crater? You can answer. Okay, so it states that the larger, the wider the crater, deformed, beautiful landscape. So dahil dito sa mga volcanic eruption na yan, so nakakagawa tayo ng magandang caldera, magandang structure ng landscape. And so question number 2, What happened to the portion of volcano that were removed? So, saan napunta yan? Itong part na yan. Saan napunta? So, possible answers natin dito. So, if you have more answers, so you can just write down in our comment section. So, possible answers, it fell down to the volcano. It melted, it was carried to the foot of volcano by lava, or pwede rin nagkaroon ng volcanic avalanche. So, yan yung mga pwedeng nangyari dyan. And number 3, what geological hazard could be responsible for the movement of the soil? So, ano bang mga geological hazards ang mga possible na nag-cause ng ganito? So, ang mga possible is avalanche, also landslide with ice and soil and mud flow, and also landslide. So, yan yung mga pwedeng naging responsible dito sa gantong deformation ng ating mga volcano. So, next question ko ay, have you seen one of these signage? Saan nyo kaya ito nakita? So, saan nyo to napansin? Yan. So, usually, makikita natin to doon sa mga gilid ng mga doon sa may mga kalsada, sa may gilid ng mga bundok, sa mga cliff. So, yan yung makikita natin sa gilid. So, what are the meaning of this signage? So, it means this area is a landslide prone area. So, ibig sabihin niyan, may possibility na magbaksakan itong mga bato or magkaroon ng landslide dito sa area sa gilid ng mga kalsada. What is common in these places? The place. So, ito ay commonly yung mga tinapyas na gilid ng bundok para makagawa ng kalsada. So, cutting road. So, yan yung sometimes na common nila sa mga places. And let's start a lesson. So, what is landslide? So, landslide is a ground movement on a sloping terrain. So, we need slope to make it as a landslide. So, if rain or any sources of water frequently flows down a sloping area, the gravitational descent of loosened soil make it possible for a landslide to occur. So, pwede siyang umulan or pwedeng meron ng tayong source ng tubig dun sa taas. So, siya yung nagkakos din ng landslide dahil doon sa ating mga agents na yan na like water. So, as you can see here, we have a small mountain here or hill. So, who do you think is more vulnerable? This part of, I think this is a city. So, this part of the city or this part? So, of course, this part is the one who is vulnerable. Structures that are built on a steep slope mountains. So, pag yan is nandito, o nandito yan, sa ilalim naman itong mga mountain na to, steep mountains natin. So, sila din yung vulnerable dito sa landslide. So, what action do we need to do to lessen the vulnerability of this area? So, we can plant more trees or plants or any vegetation to hold the soil in place. So, yung mga roots niyan is hahawakan nila yung lupa para hindi magkaroon ng landslide. So, yung roots, ina-absorb niya yung water, hinahold din yung lupa. So, double purpose yung ating mga trees dito sa mga gantong area para ma-lessen natin yung vulnerability and other things that we can do to lessen our vulnerability. So, you can answer also in our comment section. So, these are the types of landslides. So, we have soil creep landslide, deep flow landslide, slumping landslide, and rockfall landslide. So, first type of the landslide that we will tackle is about the soil creep landslide. So, soil creep landslide is a very slow downslope movement of particles that occurs in every slope covered with loose weathered material. So, ito is nangyayari lang pag meron tayong slope na natatakluban ng loose weathered material. So, ang loose weathered material natin is lupa. Then, matigas yun na doon sa ilalim. So, yan is pwedeng umusdos ng umusdos very slowly itong lupa natin. So, as you can see, we have misaligned fence. So, yung ating bakod, nakita natin nag-iiba yung kanilang form. And yung ating mga poste is tumatagilid. And also, yung ating mga trees is tumatagilid din. And also, nagkakaroon tayo ng refolds doon sa lupa. So, yan ay sign na meron tayong soil creep landslide. So, this is very slow. Hindi natin to masyadong makikita ng mabilisan. So, sobrang bagal din ng landslide na soil creep. And next, ayan yung itsura ng mga puno na nandoon sa may soil creep landslide. So as you can see, dahil nagkaroon tayo ng soil creep landslide, tumagilid yung ating puno, tumagilid ng paganyan. Pero alam naman natin, yung characteristics ng puno, so lagi yan pupunta pataas kung nasan yung sunlight. Kaya siya ay nagkakaroon ng curve. Yan yung dahilan kung bakit nagkakaroon ng curve. So hindi yan yung parang naitulak lang or something. So yan is dahil sa soil creep landslide. So if you see this in a hilly mountainous slope or somewhere, so ibig sabihin yan, merong soil creep landslide. Ito, mga lugar na yan. So next is debris flow landslide. When the slope becomes saturated with water, this triggers a landslide. So as you can see here, meron tayong ulan, then this is our slope. So pag yan is nagkaroon ng madaming tubig, so yan is pwedeng mag-cause ng debris flow landslide. So kung wala man ulan, pero meron tayo ditong source of water, so pwede rin niyang maging source ng debris flow landslide. So ito, itsura ng debris flow landslide. So next is slumping landslide. So slumping landslide, downward movement of rock debris, usually the consequence of removal of buttressing earth at the foot of slope of unconsolidated material. So sometimes, ito yung ginagawa ng mga tao. So gagawa sila ng dito ng kalsada. So tinatapyas yung mga tinatapyas yung gilid ng bundok. So gumagawa ng kalsada. So nagkakaroon tayo ng slumping landslide. Kasi wala na nag-hold dito sa part na yan. So sometimes itong pagkat nitong gilid ng bundok is nangyayari din naturally. So itong slumping landslide natin is yan. So patalikod yung kanyang usdos. So umuusdos siya kasama yung buong lupa. Not like our debris flow landslide. So meron lang part dito na nakukuha then nagkakaroon ng landslide. So yan yung kanilang difference ng slumping and debris flow landslide. So this is the actual photo of a debris slumping landslide. So next is rockfall landslide. So sudden slide caused by heavy rain of rock on the slope, loosen and then slide down the slope. So yung mga bato natin, pag yan is nagkaroon ng loosen up and bumaba yung kanyang integrity dito sa lugar na yan. So pwede yang mag-cause ng rockfall. So ano ba itsura ng rockfall? So ganyan. Naalala niyo pa ba kung anong tawag natin dito sa mga accumulation of rockfall materials? Yan. So, identifying the types of landslide. So, ano kayang type ng landslide to? Okay. How about this one? And this one? And this one. So, ito, kitang-kita, rockfall. And we will talk about sinkhole. So, what is sinkhole? Sinkhole is a topographic depression created when groundwater dissolved underlying limestone of bedrock known as sink or dolline. So, ito yung ating sinkhole. So, sometimes, yung mga limestone natin is tinutunaw doon. Yung tinutunaw ng groundwater natin, yung mga limestone. Kaya, nagkakaroon ng space doon sa loob. So, nagkakaroon ng void. Yan. Kaya nagkakaroon ng sinkhole. So, what are the characteristics of a sinkhole? So, number one, occurrence in area where soil foundation is made of soft material and rock, such as limestone, salt bed, and any acidic rock. So, yung mga acidic rock na yan, yung mga limestone na yan, and yung mga salt bed na yan, is natutunaw yan sa water. And also, soft din sila, soft material. Kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng mga sinkhole. The depth of the sinkhole range from a couple meters to several miles deep. So, merong mga nakita ko online is yung sinkhole sobrang lalim, hindi mo makita yung ilalim niya. So, pag binatuan mo siya ng ilaw, sobrang tagal bago bumaksak. So, pwede kasing umabot ng several miles deep yung mga sinkhole. So, paano gumagana ang isang sinkhole? Paano nakagawa ng sinkhole? So, water from rainfall seeps underneath the soil through cracks or fissure. So, pag may crack and fissure, so sometimes nakakapasok doon yung mga ulan. And pag yung ating materials doon sa ilalim is mga soft materials like yung limestone and salt rock. So, yon ay matutunaw and pwede mag-cause ng sinkhole. And also, yung mga underground water system increase the size of the soil is carried by the water through internal erosion. So, yung ating groundwater, so sometimes siya ang nagtutunaw dito sa mga limestone na to, sa mga salt na yan. Kaya, lumalaki na lumalaki yung void doon sa ilalim, yung space, yung free space doon sa ilalim. Kaya nung nabuksan yung sinkhole, so siya ay sobrang lalim. So, types of sinkhole, cover collapse, sinkhole. So, this is the first type of sinkhole. So, it develops suddenly over an hour period, thus causing catastrophic damage. So, ito yung mga nakikita natin na merong video na nakita sa isang syudad. Bigla na lang gumuho and bigla na lang nagkaroon ng malaking butas doon sa lupa, doon sa kalsada. And sobrang lalim na pala nito. So, yun yung nangyari. Ito is short period of time lang. Gumuho lang itong parang pinaka-bridge na to. So, ito yung pinaka-cover. So, pag yan is gumuho. So, cover, gumuho, collapse. And then, napakita na yung sinkhole natin. So, yan yung cover, collapse, sinkhole. And this is one type of the sinkhole. So, sabi sa inyo, pwedeng meters lang ang lalim and pwedeng umabot ng miles. Several miles yung lalim nito mga sinkhole na to. So, ito, ayan, bigla na lang gumuho itong sinkhole na yan, bumuksak sa ilalim yung mga top part and nalaman ng mga tao meron palang sinkhole. So, we have cover subsidence sinkhole. It gradually grow where the sediments cover are permeable and contain sand. So, ito, meron palang nabubuong sinkhole doon sa ilalim. Dahil nadurog na rin itong mga part na to. So, tapos yung kanyang nasa ibabaw is sand or malambot na parang buhangin. So, yan ay pwede siyang unti-unting pumunta doon sa ilalim. Parang hourglass. So, marireveal na meron palang sinkhole. So, yan yung cover subsidence sinkhole. So, ganyan ang itsura. Unti-unting bumababa na yung lupa. And another type is dissolution sinkhole. So, this is a thin overburden. Then, nagkaroon tayo ng rain. So, yung carbonate bedrock natin is unti-unti nagkakaroon ng tubig. So, yung tubig na yon is pwede niyang matunaw yung nasa ilalim na part. So, pwede yung lumalim ng lumalim. So, yan yung another type of sinkhole. So, it occurs in areas where calcareous is exposed in the ground where thin layers of soil and permeable sand are also covered. So, yan yung nangyayari yan. So, tulad nito, this is an example of dissolution sinkhole. So dahil sa nagkaroon ng tubig, so lumalalim na lumalalim yung ating sinkhole. So another type of sinkhole is artificial sinkhole. Such type of sinkhole sink may be caused by various human activities, including groundwater pumping and building. So minsan nagagawa tayo ng mga tunnel dyan sa ilalim. So yun is open space. Then biglang nagkaroon ng something na nag-trigger. So pwedeng lumubog at gumuho yung part na yon and mag-reveal yung ating sinkhole. And sometimes yung pumping natin ng groundwater, so kinukuha natin yung tubig sa ilalim. So ibig sabihin nagkakaroon tayo ng open space doon sa ilalim. And then nakakapag-produce tayo ng sinkhole, so artificial sinkhole. So can you identify the type of sinkhole? So what is this type of sinkhole? Yes, this is dissolution. And how about this one? Oh, this is cover subsidence and this is collapse, cover collapse sinkhole. So that is the 4 types of sinkhole. So let's check our knowledge if we learned something. So this is true or false. So you will just answer true or false. So if false, tell me what is the correct answer. Landslide that have hardly noticeable damage due to slow movement of soil is what we call soil creep. Tama ba? This is correct or not? So this is true. How about this? Rockfall landslide are made of water-saturated soil. So yung rockfall landslide ba is gawa sa saturated, water-saturated soil? Of course, no. So it will be false. So what is the correct answer here? So this is debris flow landslide. And the last natin is artificial sinkhole developed gradually where the covering of sediments are permeable and contains sand. So is this correct? Is this the artificial sinkhole? Of course, this is not the artificial sinkhole. So what is the correct answer? The correct answer is cover subsidence sinkhole. Okay, very good. So let's talk about the causes of geological hazard. So what are the causes? Based on your learning, what can be the causes of geological hazard? Okay, so there are different causes of a landslide and sinkhole. A landslide can be created by natural or mechanical factor or human. So, pwede siyang natural yung ating landslide. And pwede naman siyang man-made yung sinkhole. So, kagagawa ng mga tao kaya nagkaroon na sinkhole. So, natural causes of landslide can be due to climate, earthquake, weathering, flooding, volcanic activity, forest fires, gravity, while human triggered landslide in mining or clear cutting trees. And so landslide, natural causes of landslide, human causes landslide, rainfall, induced landslide. So this is the 3 types no causes ng landslide. So natural causes of landslide is we have climate, earthquake, weathering, erosion, gravity, volcanic eruption, forest fire. So we already tackled all of these topics. So we will just tell them one by one with a simple explanation. So sa climate, so iba't ibang klaseng climate pwede yan mag-cause ng landslide. So pag umulan, yan ay pwede magkaroon ng water-saturated soil and can cause landslide. So about the earthquake, so seismic activity for the long time contributed the landslide across the globe. So napakadaming landslide ang nagawa na nito earthquake. So ito yung number 1 natin na causes of landslide. So next is weathering. So rock deterioration that leads to weak when rocks are weak enough, they slip away and can form rockfall. So rockfall is one form of landslide. So yung mga bato natin, integrity ng bato natin is humina dahil sa weathering. Then sila is gumuho na and bumagsak na yung mga malalaking bato. So, that is caused by weathering, and that is a landslide. And erosion caused by sporading running water, such as stream, rivers, winds, currents, ice, or waves wipe out. So, yan yung erosion. Earth science na pag-aralan na natin yan. So, sa gravity naman, steeper slope coupled with gravitational force can trigger a massive landslide. So, dahil sa gravity at meron tayong loosened materials, so nagkakaroon tayo ng landslide. So, volcanic eruption, and volcanic eruption, if an eruption occurs in a wet condition, the soil will start to move downhill, instigating the landslide. So, sometimes dahil dun sa rising of magma or dun sa volcanic eruption talaga or sa sobrang tumataas ang temperature nung nung vulkan natin, so pwedeng magkaroon ng landslide, pwedeng mag-cause na landslide. So, forest fire. So, bakit kaya sinabi dito forest fire daw? Cause of landslide. So, how? Because if if the forest fire burned the vegetation, the trees, the plants, there's no more roots that can hold the soil in place. So, dahil wala na yung mga roots na nag-hold dun sa mga lupa, so pwede na siyang mag-cause na landslide. So, yan yun. Kaya napasama dito yung forest fire. And how about the human caused landslide? So, in mining, so mining activity that you're utilizing blasting technique contribute mightily to landslide. So, as we all know, noong unang panahon, kung paano tayo mag-mining is pinapala yung lupa. But now, we're just using dynamite or explosives to uh, mine or to make a hole or dig a tunnel. So dahil dun sa mga explosion na yon, so pwede siyang magkaroon ng earthquake and pwede siyang magcause na landslide. So clear cutting, so a technique of timber harvesting that eliminates the old trees from the area. So pag tinanggal natin yung mga old trees dun sa area, so ano mangyayari? Mawawala yung mga roots, yung vegetation. So, yun yung cutting, clear cutting. So, ginawang subdivision or ginawang pinutol lang talaga yung mga puno doon sa mga hills. So, yan, pwedeng mag-cause ng landslide. So, this is the other is the rainfall-induced landslide. So, the most common and widespread damaging landslide in the Philippines, averaging 20 typhoons each year due to prolonged or heavy rainfall. So dahil sa sobrang haba o sobrang dami ng mga ulan na bumabagsak sa lupa, so pwede yan mag-contribute doon sa landslide natin. So yan tinatawag natin na rainfall-induced landslide. Sa Philippines, sobrang daming typhoons na dumadaan dyan. So kahit summer is umuulan, so ganyan dito sa Philippines. So rainfall can be caused for landslide. But soil conditions were very critical. Most rainfall-induced landslide are shallow. Yung less than a few meters deep, thin, and move quickly. So, yan yung klase ng landslide na pwede nating makita dito sa rainfall-induced landslide. So, sila is usually mabilis yung mga ganito landslide. So, this is the signs of other related geological hazards. Yan. So, ano ba yung mga signs na yan? We will tackle the signs of impending geological hazards, namely for landslide and sinkhole. Prevention is still better than cure. So, lalo-lalo na sa mga disaster and lalo-lalo na sa mga hazards. So, i-cure mo ba? So, kung pwede mo maiwasan, so dapat is magkaroon tayo ng prevention dito. So, appropriate actions to prepare for the potential dangers to avoid loss of life, loss of property, para maiwasang masira yung ating environment and yung ating mga nasasakop. So, yan yo. signs. So, bakit natin kailangan yan? So, we will do some activity, increase or decrease. So, this is just for the vulnerability. So, the presence of plants increase or decrease the vulnerability of an area to landslide. So, sa palagay niyo ba, nakaka-contribute ba yung presence ng madaming halaman? So, is it increase or decrease the vulnerability? Of course, it is decrease. So, pag mas madami yung ating plants, mas mababa yung vulnerability ng area to landslide. So, heat during wildfire, increase or decrease the hydroponic capacity of the plants of the soil. So, ayan. Ini-increase niya yung hydroponic capacity ng soil. So, the decrease in size of the void underneath the ground, increase or decrease the size of the sinkhole. So, pag mas maliit yung size ng void sa ilalim ng lupa. So, ano bang ibig sabihin nun? Yung size ba ng sinkhole natin is mas malaki or mas maliit? Of course, very good. So, mas maliit din yung size ng sinkhole natin pag mas maliit yung void. So, number 4, the presence of clay increase or decrease the occurrence of landslide. So, pag ba madaming clay doon sa isang lugar, so ibig sabihin ba nito, mas madalas or mas madalang yung occurrence ng landslide? So, of course, increase. Dahil alam na natin yung clay is soft material and hindi mo nga siya pwedeng tayuan ng mga bahay dahil prone siya sa landslides. A broken water pipe underneath the residential area can increase or decrease the internal erosion of that area. Yan. So, nakakadagdag ba sa internal erosion? Of course, yes. So, because water is one of our greatest weathering material, so kayang-kaya niyan. Increase yung internal erosion. So, that's all. So, this is the sign of impending landslide or sinkhole. So, signs of impending landslide and sinkhole are observed on the man-made infrastructure, bodies of water, and vegetation. So, dito sa dalawang to, so ano kaya yung mas prone sa landslide and sinkhole? So, of course, this one because ito is madaming puno and live na live yung kanya lugar. And this have water. So, natin, water. And so, warning signs of impending landslide. So, ano ba mga warning signs natin dyan? So, earlier landslide as indicator, tension cracks, things moving, water doing something different. So, something. Okay, so number 1, earlier landslide as an indicator. So, pag nagkaroon na ng landslide or multiple landslide occurs within the same place, so ibig sabihin yan, yung lugar na yan is prone pa rin sa landslide. So, pag madaming beses ng itong tinamaan ng landslide, so huwag na tayo magtaka pag tayo is nagkaroon ulit ng landslide dito sa area na to. So, inspecting an area of an old landslide for scrap and deposit is a clear indication that the landslide will reactivate. So, tension cracks caused by the stress and friction produced by geologic material moving apart. So, pag nagkaroon tayo ng cracks doon sa lupa, so dahil sa stress and dahil sa friction, so yon ay pwede mag-cause ng landslide. So, ibig sabihin, himahuna yung ating lupa dahil nagkakaroon tayo ng mga ganyan. So, these cracks are located on the higher elevated ground. So, ayan, no. Pwede na mag-cause ulit ng landslide. So, number 3 is things moving. Yung mga bagay na hindi naman gumagalaw is gumagalaw. Kunyari, yung poste nyo ng kuryente, yung inyong pader, yung mga puno. Alam na natin, hindi naman yung gagalaw. Pero pag yan is nagkakaroon ng gantong shape, so yan is nagkakaroon tayo ng slow-moving landslide. So, the most common of these is that we are bending up in a J curve as a sign of the ground is slip. So, dumudulas yung ating lupa. So, kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng ganyan, J shape. So, napaliwanag natin yung kanina. So, creaking and cracking can also be a warning sign This motion can be slow or rapid. Yan. So, kung nakakarinig tayo ng creaking and cracking dyan sa mga lupa na yan, so, warning na rin yun na makakaroon na ng landslide. So, water is doing something different. So, pag yung tubig natin is nag-change siya ng flow, so nag-iba yung direction ng ating water. So, pwede yung mag-cause na landslide kasi hindi naman meron naman siyang talagang dinadaanan. So, pag yung tubig is napunta doon sa ibang lugar, so hindi naman to used to doon sa tubig, sa madaming tubig. So, pwede yan mag-cause ng landslide. So, pwede yan mag-cause ng debris flow. So, yung debris flow natin is a wet and very mobile landslide where water is loaded with trees, mud, rock, and everything else caught on its current. So, yan. Humiwalay lang yung current. Nagkaroon na ng ibang pinuntahan yung tubig. So, nakapag-cause na siya na landslide or tinatawag natin na debris flow. So, ito naman yung warning signs ng impending sinkhole. So, pwede yung mga trees and yung mga fence natin ay nagtitilt or nalalaglag. So, crack in the ground. So, pag may crack dyan, so alam na natin makakapasok na yung tubig. So, pwede na yung matunaw yung mga kung ano mang sediments or ano soluble materials sa ilalim. So, foundations, that's not. Yung mga foundations natin is tumatagilid. So, pwede yung cause na, pwede yung warning signs na sinkhole. New small ponds that appears after the rain. So, ito yung isang type natin ng sinkhole. So, doors and windows that don't easily open. So, dahil sa nagkaroon tayo ng sinkhole, so bumaba yung level ng lupa. So, yung ating mga pinto is syempre hindi na yan magpipit doon sa kanyang pinakapintuan. So, sudden drainage of ponds. Ayan, so pag yung mga ponds natin nagkaroon ng crack sa ilalim, so mawawala yung tubig, so pwede yan mag-cause ng sinkhole. So, presence of odd bugs like slug, centipede in your home. So, nagkakaroon tayo ng mga konting cracks. Doon din nakakapasok itong mga slugs na to doon sa ating bahay. Kahit hindi natin sarado pinto, din nakakapasok yung mga ganyang centipedes and slugs. So, ibig sabihin, yun ay sign na meron impending sinkhole. So, uneven floor, warping of hardwood, and bulging or sagging the section. So, this also is a warning sign of an impending sinkhole. So, that's it for our lesson for today. So, tingnan natin kung pag-aralan ba talaga natin or na-discuss natin na mabuti yung ating objective. So, first is to understand and define the causes of landslide and sinkhole. Napag-aralan ba? Okay. So, explain the different types of landslide and sinkholes, recognize the sign of impending geological hazards, and appreciate the importance of knowing the causes of different geological hazards. So, also in this geological hazards, kasali din dito ang tsunami. Pero ilang beses natin siya napag-aralan, so hindi ko na siya sinama. So, what have I learned? So, this is our activity for this afternoon. Ayan, sagutan nyo lang. So, our performance task number 6 or our 6th activity. Activity 6 natin is preventing landslide. So, paano natin mapaprevent yung landslide? So, mapaprevent natin yan pag tayo is magtanim ng mas madaming puno. So, planting trees will absorb water. It can hold water. It can hold the soil. So, madami nagagawa yung trees. So, kaya dapat tayo ay gumawa ng tree planting. So, gagawa tayo ng narrative report. So, document your progress and send a narrative report to your teacher. The narrative should include the following: a specific name of the plants and yung location na ating pinagtaniman. So, sabi, sir, pwede ba sa paso? So, hindi natin itatanim sa paso. Sa lupa talaga. Kung wala kayong lupa dyan, kung simentado, so maghanap lang tayo ng somewhere na merong lupa, and doon natin itanim. So, doon natin pipicturean yung before, yung during, and yung after nung after nung tree planting. So, this is very important. So, alam naman natin, merong mga issue, sabi is 3 to 5 years na lang daw ang Earth. So, kahit hindi yan totoo, so dapat gumawa tayo ng mga paraan para hindi siya matuloy. So, stop it. Okay, so planting a tree. Every student, pag kayo is nag-plant ng tree, so malilesen na yung ating global warming. So, yung step-by-step process is included doon sa narrative paper natin. So, i-search nyo lang kung paano gumawa ng narrative paper sa internet, sa Google. So, malalaman nyo kung paano ba. Ayun. So, this is a formal, uh, formal paper yung ating gagawin. So, the paper should also answer the following questions. So, what are the plants? What plant did you grow or plants in your backyard or your home? So, anong klaseng halaman yan? So, sir, pwede ba malunggay? Yes, pwede malunggay. Pwedeng mangga, pwedeng mga duranta, yung mga bushes, pwede rin yung mga bushes. So, wag lang siguro mga kalabasa or kamatis. Yan. So, puno yung tumatagal ng matagal. So, why did you choose that plant and what are its characteristics that make it helpful in preventing landslide? So, paano ba nakatulong yung tinanim mong puno? Paano siya nakapag-prevent ng landslide? So, where did you place your plant? So, what is your basis on placing the plant in that particular location? So, you should just answer it. And what must you do in order for it to be sustainable? So, kailangan ba laging didiligan? Ano bang mga pwedeng gawin? Lagyan ng bubong or something? So, paano ba natin mapapanatiling buhay yung puno? So, this is 4 weeks performance task. So, itatanim nyo, yung pipicturean nyo yung lupa na wala pa siyang kahit ano, then yung pagtatanim, and then yung progress ng kanyang pagbuo. So, dapat yan ay buhay yung lupa or there is no grade. Okay, so geological changes usually takes thousands of years to happen, but we are seeing the climate changing not just in our lifetime, but also year by year. So, sabi yan ni James Lovelock. So, kung tayo is magtatanim ng puno, so hindi naman yan para sa atin. So, siguro para din yan doon sa ating mga future generation. And makikita naman natin yung Earth is talaga nagbabago siya year by year. So, yung Google, pag binuksan niyo yung Google, makikita nyo, iba na yung logo nyo doon sa pinapakita yung changes. So, sa pagtunaw ng mga ice natin doon sa mga poles natin. So, kailangan natin ng mga puno para tayo ay live longer. So, that's all for today. And our quiz will be next week. And do your activity. Okay, goodbye.